Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make an origami rabbit. For this you will need a piece of paper that is exactly square. I happen to have an origami set right here with me, so I'm going to use that. But if you don't have origami paper, that's okay. You can use a piece of printer paper and either cut it down to the size that you want, or just fold the paper from corner until it's exactly flat, just like this, and then cut the extra off, and that will leave you with an exact square. So I'm going to use a piece of my origami paper here with me today, and what I want to do is I want to start with the unpatterned side, and that's because I want to see the pattern on the outside of my rabbit. So first we're going to take the top and we're going to fold it down. You want to be precise with this, but you don't need to be exactly precise. Make sure when you're doing this to use your fingernails or maybe a straight edge to create a really nice crease. That will help you with this origami. From here, once you have your triangle, you want to take the corners and pull them down just like I did into a diamond. I like to hold the paper up here with this finger so that I can make sure I have the center of the paper and use my other hand to make a crease. And we're going to do that with the other side as well. Cool. So from here, you have a diamond and it has two little flaps here. What we want to do is we want to take the ends or the sides of the diamond and bring them into the middle. So all I'm going to do is take the side and sort of fold it in. What I'm doing as I'm doing that is I'm taking my thumb and I'm using my fingernail to hold down this point. And this will allow me to make sure that the paper is completely straight with the seam in the middle of this diamond. And then I'm using my other hand to create a really nice seam. And I'm gonna do that on the other side. Remember, if this video is too fast for you, please just pause for a second as you catch up. You don't have to hurry or rush when you do origami. Just do it at your own pace, and if I'm going a little too fast, just pause for a second. I do want to have you notice that my origami isn't exactly accurate, and that's okay. You don't need to have a perfectly precise origami. You can see that some of my folds are not exactly accurate, but that's okay here. So from this step, what we're going to do is we're going to take this kite, it looks like a little kite, and we're going to take these flaps we just made and flatten them down. So the best way to do that is if we go in the center here where we have these flaps, see how there's like an opening? You want to stick your finger in that opening and flatten out those triangles. And if you can see on your piece of paper, there should be a seam down the center of this triangle. You want that seam to match the seam or the edge of this triangle. And you're gonna make another sort of kite-like shape on the side here. And I'm gonna do that for both sides. Perfect. So now that we're here, we have this really cool polygon shape. We're actually going to fold it in half. So from here, I'm gonna turn it on its side, and then I'm gonna use my fingers and fold it in half. So again, from here, I'm just going to turn it and just fold it in half. You'll notice as you do that, that you don't yet have a crease on the inside of this fold. That's okay. What I do is I use my two fingers in a pinching manner and I pinch the end of it, and then I go down the length of this fold and do little tiny pinches to make a crease. And there you have it. Now you have this little boat shape, and you must be wondering, are you sure this is going to turn into a rabbit? I promise you, hold out. So these little flaps that you've created on your little boat shape are gonna be the ears. But what we want to do is we want to face them forward. So once you have these little flaps, there's one on each side, you want to turn them this way. So the best way to do that is to find the flap and pinch it, and then rotate your hand so the flap is pointed a little bit forward. This doesn't yet have a crease, but that's okay. All you have to do is sort of push down on it as it's there, okay? Then we're gonna turn it around and do the exact same thing in the opposite way with the other flap. So I have this flap here, and I want to turn it, but now we have a guide. We can put it right next to the other one and smooth out the pages as we pinch it closed. Again, if this is too fast, don't worry about it. Fold this origami at your own speed. You don't have to rush. Then what we want to do is we want to, with these, we want to actually fold them over one more time. If you have a thicker piece of paper, this might be a little difficult, but that's okay, bear with me. What we want to do is take this flap that we just folded, but we want to take all of it. We want to take all of it. And we want to fold it so that it's in the middle of this one and this point. Just in the middle. And you want to fold it all the way down. Do you see how mine made it like a weird giant triangle? That's what you want to do. Okay? And then we're going to do that on the other side. And it's great now because you can match this to this fold. So I'm just going to fold. Perfect. So now, if you're looking at your rabbit this way, this is your rabbit's back, and these are the two ears that are going to be standing forward. So now we need to make the face. So in the way that I make the face is I use a pinching motion, and I hold the ears, and then there should be a small, like a large flap here. What you want to do is use another pinching motion right here, and move and bend the paper downwards. You want the point of this paper to be going down away from the ears. Don't fold it directly in, you just want it downwards. Once you have that, these flaps should go outwards. So if you can see what's happening, as I'm pushing the larger flaps outwards, this triangle that I just pushed on is going to go forwards. And then as you sort of push it outwards, you can take your fingers in a smaller pinching motion and to sort of work it back. Okay. So this is what we have here. We have pressed down this top flap enough, and we have held back these two larger flaps, and we want to straighten out this little bunny. So from here, you can actually use a pinching motion and pinch the entirety of the bunny back. See how that looks? I'm actually pinching all of it, and this flap stays forward. We've now made a little face. You can theoretically stop here. I don't think that bunnies have a pointed nose, so I like to fold my noses in, just like that. So now, as you have your little bunny here, the last thing that you have to do is you have to go inside these ears, and I like to push down on the seam and drag up lightly and flatten it out so that it looks like an actual ear. And I like to do that for both. And then once you let go of the pinch, it's going to look a little strange in the front, but that's okay because you want this to be able to stand on its own. And there you go. You've made your own little origami rabbit.